Are you looking forward to the Great American Eclipse? I am Rocio Irun, and today we are at the Fisk Planetarium at CU Boulder, and we're going to let you know every single thing you need to know to be ready for this astronomical event. We're going to tell you about the eclipse, where's the best place to watch it, what are some of the precautions you should take to be safe during this astronomical event. And also we're going to be talking to one of the astronomers from the University of Colorado who's going to be telling us all about the best way to watch the eclipse, what are going to be the areas where you can watch a total eclipse, and where you're going to be able to watch a partial eclipse. So come and join me in this wonderful journey.
Nearly all of the United States will have the opportunity to view a historic solar eclipse in August, as at least 2/3 of the sun will disappear behind the moon's shadow for part of the day. For those lucky enough to live near towns like Portland, Oregon, Kansas City, Omaha, Nebraska, Boise, Idaho, and Nashville, they will see the sun completely be obscured by the moon, marking the first total solar eclipse in the United States in nearly 4 decades.
Around the globe, total solar eclipses are not that rare, but the story is different in the United States. Astronomers predict only 5 total solar eclipses will be happening in the next 35 years.
In major cities such as New York, Boston, and Los Angeles, roughly 70% of the sun will be blocked during the peak of the eclipse. Major Midwest cities such as Detroit, Cleveland, Indianapolis, and St. Louis will see at least 80% of the sun obscured by the moon.
Totality will only occur in a very specific place in the United States. If you are within that band, which is about 70 miles, about 100 kilometers, if you are within that band, you will see the moon totally covering the entire circumference of the sun. So as we know, we have a natural satellite which is called the moon. The moon goes around the Earth every 28 days or so, and sometimes the ratio of distance from us to the moon and the sun is perfect for the moon to actually cover the entire circle, the entire sphere of the Earth. When that happens, it happens in totality, we get a total eclipse. So there is a big chance for millions of people to actually travel a short distance and be in the path of totality. So that is the reason why it's called the Great American Eclipse. Our field staff, we're going to be going to Wyoming. That's one of the places that has the best record for weather. It's about 85% for the weather to be good. But 3 hours from here towards Nebraska, you will be in the path of totality. Now, what we're telling people is that don't drive there the day of the eclipse. You will be stuck in traffic. I-25 is going to be a parking lot. So if you can, travel 1 day, 2 days, even 3 days before the event and enjoy the eclipse. Solar eclipses are actually fairly common. Now remember that the Earth is covered by 70% of water, so most of them happens in the ocean. And a few of them in the land. Now, once these eclipses happen in the US, that's what makes it so special, because it is pretty much our eclipse, so we can take ownership. The total process lasts about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. Here in Boulder, we'll see the first bite, which is when the moon gets in front of the sun, and you'll see it entering about 10:22. Maximum, which is when it is the 93%, will be about 11:53 or so, and then the moon exits at about 1 o'clock and 13 minutes. So the whole thing, the whole traveling from of the moon as it first touches the sun, covers the entire sun, and then exit, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours. For this eclipse, if you are in totality, it's a little bit over 2 minutes. And indeed, at that point, the temperature might drop just a few degrees. Also, if you are in a farm, take a look at the chickens, because we heard stories that the chickens actually start going into the chicken coop just because they think, oh, it's time to go and sleep. And then after 2 minutes, oh, it's light again, so they just come out. And it's very interesting to see the reaction of animals. Total eclipses happen again quite often. So, and we're still around, and total eclipses have been happening for eons, and the Earth and us, we're still around. I believe that probably in the past, when cultures didn't know much about the relationship between the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, yes, for them, something was hiding, was trying to eat the Sun, which was the source of power, energy. So for them, yes, it was a really big deal. But now we know better.
But it turns out looking at a solar eclipse can be quite dangerous. According to NASA, a solar eclipse is only safe to look at with the naked eye when the eclipse is in totality. That means those without proper equipment would miss the dramatic moments leading up to totality. Whether you live in an area that will have a total eclipse or elsewhere in the US, where up to 99% of the sun will be blocked, looking at an eclipse will require special equipment. Staring directly at the sun, even when the sun is 99% blocked, could cause damage to the retina.
So Francisco, for everybody that's going to be watching this eclipse in August 21st, tell us a little bit about the safety precautions and what's the best way to look up into the sun without getting hurt, because there's safety concerns, right?
Right, yes. Yes, even when the sun is covered by the moon, 99%, that 1% will hurt your eyes. So that's why we use this. So these are special glasses. These are, you cannot drive with these glasses.
In order to safely view a solar eclipse, Amazon offers special eclipse glasses which block out the harmful rays of the sun. If you're looking for an inexpensive way of viewing the eclipse, you can use the pinhole method.
If you don't have access to these glasses, just grab a piece of paper or cardboard, put a pinhole, and then project the image of the sun into another white piece of paper.
People are disconnected from science these days, but yet this event that has to do with astronomy and the stars, everybody's so excited about it. Why do you think this is, and how important is this for science?
I think the reason why it's so important, because first, it's a very unique event. It happens in the United States. Just at a short driving distance from where we are, you can be in the path of totality. Even if you are not, you will still see at least 80%. So even if you are in New York all the way to Texas, you'll see 80% of the sun totally being covered, which is very, very rare. And that one, it just brings a little bit of what we are as humans, trying to understand what they did before 400, 500 years ago. And it makes a connection between the past, the present that you are seeing the eclipse, and for future events.
You know, I remember when I was little and I was in high school and I saw my first total solar eclipse back in Spain. And I know everybody was gathered outside and we were so excited and the teachers were out with us. So this marked part of my childhood, and that's one of the reasons I think why I'm just so fascinated with astronomy and the planets and the stars and the study, you know, of the sky. So this will mean for a lot of kids as well, you know, a stepping stone for them to become interested in astronomy, in science, right? And maybe like build a future.
Oh yeah, you know, and you just right on. It's every time that we have these events, us as educators, it's a very unique opportunity for us to entice, to get kids interested again in science. It's not just only what you learn in books, but what you actually observe in the universe and how that affects you. So yes, you're right on, and I am also like you. It wasn't with the sun, and it was with Jupiter.
12 million people live within the path of totality, but if you're gonna be one of the ones that for one reason or the other are gonna miss this total eclipse, the next one won't be happening until April 8th, 2024. Or you can just buy a ticket and go see the next one in Argentina and Chile in the next 2 years.